All right, everybody, welcome back. We are diving into something pretty interesting today, something that I think a lot of founders struggle with, and that's operations.
Definitely.
So specifically, we are looking at seed stage startups today, and we have a great article by, I hope I am pronouncing this correctly, Anne Cockett.
Yeah, it sounds right to me.
Okay, great. And it's called Why a Fractional COO is a Game Changer for Seed Stage Startups. And we found this on the Crest Collective website.
Cool.
And it's all about this really interesting solution to a problem I think a lot of startup founders face early on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you're starting out, resources are tight, right?
Right. You're bootstrapping, you're trying to be really careful with how you spend your money.
Exactly. But at the same time, you need someone good to handle operations.
Yeah.
Like you can't just let that slide.
Yeah, you can't just ignore it.
Exactly.
And the article talks about like two big mistakes that founders make. And I've seen this happen too. And
I've
that's
seen it too.
you either try to save money by hiring like someone junior who doesn't have a lot of experience,
Right, right.
or you just rely on advisors who are great. They have all this experience.
Yeah, they're brilliant. They've been there, done that.
Exactly.
But they're not really in the weeds.
They're not doing the work.
Right. They're not the ones actually doing the work.
Yeah. So why do you think those approaches so often kind of fail?
Well, think about it. With a junior hire, you might be, saving some money up front, but they might not have the experience to like really build out those systems you need to grow.
Right.
And it's like, imagine trying to build a house on a foundation of sand. It's just not going to work long term.
Yeah, it's going to collapse.
Exactly.
Mm.
And then with advisors, they give you this great high-level strategic advice, but they often don't have the time to actually, implement it.
They have other things to do.
Right? They've got their own companies. They're advising other companies.
They're busy people. So it's like having a great architect, design your dream house, but then you don't have anybody to actually build it.
Exactly. Perfect analogy.
Okay, so the article, it calls the solution, like the secret weapon,
Yeah.
it's called the operational lifeline.
I like that.
Right. It's the fractional COO. And I'll admit, when I first heard that term, I was like, okay, what is this, like a part-time COO that comes in for like 2 hours a week and then disappears?
That's what I thought too when I first heard it.
But it's way more than that, right?
It's so much more. It's basically like having a seasoned executive who works with multiple startups,
Okay.
but they dedicate a portion of their time to each one.
So they're really focused. They're not just like spread thin across all these different companies.
Exactly. They're focused on your needs, your specific needs, and the stage of growth that you're at.
Okay. So like a COO on demand, but like with a ton of experience.
Precisely.
So they're like thinking big picture, but also willing to roll up their sleeves and get stuff done.
Absolutely. They're not afraid to get their hands dirty.
Okay, so what are some of the tasks that a fractional COO would typically handle?
Well, they can wear a lot of hats.
That's good. You want somebody who's versatile, right?
Exactly. So, for example, they can help you with business strategy and planning.
Yeah.
They can help you create that, killer investor pitch.
Because that's so important.
Oh, it's crucial, especially in the early stages when you're trying to secure funding.
Yeah.
They can also help you analyze market opportunities and really act as a sounding board for the CEO.
Okay, so the CEO can kind of bounce ideas off of them and,
Exactly. Get that, experienced perspective on those tough decisions.
yeah, like a mentor almost.
Yeah, exactly. Like an experienced co-pilot navigating, the turbulent early stages of a startup.
I love that analogy.
Right.
Okay, so that's like the high level stuff, but what about like the nitty-gritty, the operations, the actual running of the business?
Yeah, so that's where the operational frameworks come in.
Okay.
A fractional COO can help you set up efficient communication systems. Choose the right project management tools, whether that's Asana or Monday.com.
There's so many out there.
There are a ton.
It's hard to choose.
It really is. And they can help you streamline your customer relations.
Okay, so like if you're, a small team and you're just using email and it's getting really overwhelming.
Right. Or maybe you're using like a million different tools and nothing's really talking to each other.
Right.
They can come in and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should switch to Slack for communication, or let's integrate these tools so everything's in one place.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Okay, the article also talks about team alignment
Yeah.
and how important that is, especially in those early stages.
Oh, it's crucial, especially when you're small and you're moving fast.
Yeah.
You need everyone rowing in the same direction.
Yeah, everyone needs to be on the same page.
Exactly. Because imagine you're a startup with like 10 people and half of them aren't clear on what the goals are or what the priorities are.
Yeah, that would be chaos.
It would total chaos.
So how does a fractional COO help with that?
So they can help establish clear objectives and key results, or OKRs as they're called,
Right.
which are basically ambitious goals with measurable results.
Okay, so you can actually track your progress.
Exactly. You can track your progress. You can see if you're moving towards your goals. And they can also implement, performance reviews, set up regular team meetings, and create a culture of open communication.
So, like, everybody knows what's going on, what's expected of them.
Exactly. Everyone's on the same page and everyone's working together towards the same goals.
Yeah, like a sports team with a really good coach.
Exactly.
Okay. And speaking of teams, the article also mentioned hiring strategy and how fractional COOs can help with that.
Oh, yeah. Hiring is so important, especially in the early stages.
Yeah, because you don't have a lot of room for error, right?
Every hire counts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fractional COO can help you craft that, really compelling job description that attracts top talent. They can guide your overall talent acquisition plan, and they can even recommend tools like an applicant tracking system, or ATS,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
which can really streamline the process.
Yeah, because if you're getting, hundreds of applications.
Oh, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So an ATS can help you filter candidates based on specific criteria. So you're not, spending hours and hours going through resumes.
Right, you're not wasting time on people who aren't even a good fit.
Exactly.
Okay, now even at an early stage, data is really important, right?
Oh, absolutely. Data's king.
Yeah. So how does a fractional COO help startups establish those metrics and reporting systems?
So they'll help you identify those key performance indicators, or KPIs, that really matter for your business.
Okay, like what are some examples of that?
So things like customer acquisition cost, monthly recurring revenue, those are really important metrics to track, especially in the early stages.
Okay.
And then they'll help you set up dashboards to actually visualize that data.
Okay, so you can see it all laid out.
Exactly.
I can see the trends, you can see what's working, what's not working. And that helps you make more informed decisions.
So you're not just flying blind.
Exactly.
You know what really surprised me in the article was that it mentioned fundraising support as part of the fractional COO's role.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I wouldn't have thought of that as like an operational thing.
It's actually crucial because remember we talked about those investor pitches.
Right.
A fractional COO can help you refine your pitch deck. They can advise you on your overall fundraising strategy, and they can even help you follow up on those crucial investor conversations.
So they're like your fundraising coach almost.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've been there, they've done that, they know what investors are looking for, and they can help you present your startup in the most compelling light.
Yeah, they can help you avoid those common mistakes that first-time founders make.
Absolutely.
So essentially, a fractional COO is bringing, all that high-level expertise without the cost of a full-time hire.
Right. And they're adaptable, they're hands-on.
They're versatile. Exactly. And they cover this wide range of crucial tasks, from strategy to execution.
It's like having that experienced mentor who's been there, done that, guiding you through all the ups and downs of starting a business.
Exactly.
Now, if somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, this sounds amazing, where do I find one?
Well, the article that we were looking at today highlighted Crest Collective as a really great resource
Okay.
for connecting with fractional COOs.
So we'll put a link to that in the show notes.
Perfect.
So to recap, seed stage startups need strong operations, but those traditional solutions like hiring someone junior or just relying on advisors, they only go so far.
Right.
Fractional COOs with their targeted expertise and, the fact that they're more cost effective, it really can be a game changer for early stage companies.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating how this fractional COO model reflects this broader trend we're seeing, the need for flexibility and specialized skills on demand.
Yeah.
And makes me wonder, what aspect of your startup could benefit the most from a fractional COO's expertise?
Yeah.
Is it refining your pitch deck? Is it streamlining your hiring process?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's getting that data-driven reporting system in place.
That's a great question for all of our listeners to think about.
Yeah.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep building those amazing businesses.
Exactly.
And if you're intrigued by the idea of a fractional COO, definitely check out Crest Collective, the resource that we talked about today.
Yep.
Until next time, happy diving.